Alright, hello everybody. Today I'm playing this Yuri visual novel, The Heart of the Woods. Hello, and it is by Studio Ilan, which you might know if you know Yuri games. I remember back in the time when they started the studio, I was on Twitter, and I had 200 followers or something, and they got several thousand overnight basically, because people were that hyped. Well, I do know that this game is supposedly really good and really long, but that's basically all I know. But we'll see how it is. Alright. So yeah, this is going to be most likely multiple sessions because it is 100k words and some. But I don't mind. I have been wanting to play this for a while, but it takes a lot of energy to play such a long game. But yeah, let's get started, I guess. Well, I hope my internet won't have hiccups because it has been really bad. Bad in the previous sessions. I tried to restart the router or reset it and everything. Let's hope that helps. If not, then well, the ISP is going to hear about that. But yeah, let's play. Chapter 1. A Winter Wonderland. That's how this place was pitched to us. Out in the middle of a forest, with an unpronounceable name, in a village that time forgot. In the email, it sounded like every other ghost hunter's paradise that we get messaged about. Isolated and antiquated, with the tourism boom encouraging hokey effects and gaudy billboards. The vast majority of those emails go unanswered. If Tara weren't so capricious, this one probably would have too. But no. Something about journeying to the middle of nowhere for a month struck her fancy. And like always, I let myself get dragged into it. So here I am, for the last time. Ooh. The train beats out a slow, monotonous rhythm. Beneath us, it's an older machine, with sort that looks like it's supposed to take us to wizarding school, or that should be in a museum. When I bought the tickets, I thought we'd be getting on something a bit more modern. Oopsie. I shifted my seat, the tattered cushion and wooden boards doing little to soothe the pain in my back. We have been on this train for 12 hours, and I can feel every one of them in my bones. Tara's been out for the past 6, upright but fast asleep. If the bumpy ride bothers her, she doesn't show it. The paperback she was reading dangles low in her hand. Oh, let me do that. Maybe like this. The auto ducking will lower it, but that's how it goes. The paperback she was reading dangles low in her hand, in danger of losing her spot in the book. I scuff my feet across the floor, kicking at nothing. As tired as I am, I'm afraid for our journey to end, for Tara to wake up, to have to talk to her. What is actually? Are they going or are they coming? I think they are still going there, how can it end? Or is she afraid of arriving there? I'm almost offended that she can't sleep. She should be as preoccupied as I am, fighting off intrusive thoughts and wondering what to say. You wouldn't know from looking at her that we have barely spoken for 3 days. That's how long ago I told her that this would be our last trip for the show together, and that I was quitting once we got back home. Okay. Everything since then, packing, booking our tickets, finding someone to take care of the cat while we are gone, happened in a blur. We have been cordial, but that's it. My heart hurts, but it tells me I made the right decision. Yawning, I lean back against my seat and pretend it's comfortable. The cushions are unnoticeable, nearly as firm as the wooden floor beneath us. A heater in the corner hems and haws like an old man, but it's not nearly powerful enough to fight off the chill. The train does give the old train vibes. There were documentaries about the what was it called? Oriental Express or something like that. The old train in the early 1900s, I guess, or something around then. It does give the same kind of vibes. I guess the setting of the game is modern, more or less. So this is just somewhere unimaginably far away, basically. I desperately wish that I could sleep too, but one of us needs to be awake when we get to the station, and that should be any minute now. Plus, I have never been able to fall asleep on planes or trains anyway. My eyes are sore, and I rub one of them as I press my cheek to the cold window. Outside, it may as well be another world compared to the city we left behind. If not for the moonlight, I wouldn't be able to see anything. But the soft white glow makes the snow and nearby forest glisten like it's under some sorceress's spell. The winter wonderland. I wouldn't mind a little bit of winter wonderland these days because it has been pretty hot. Oh, hello there. The trees are all bare, save for the blanket of snow that covers them. Their empty branches look like something out of a kid's Halloween movie, shaking in the wind as if possessed. So it's snow and it is somewhere where there aren't a lot of pines or spruce or something. They seem to stretch on forever, farther than I can even see. It's more like an ocean than a forest. Morgan certainly wasn't exaggerating when she said this place was remote. Intermittent lights flicker amongst the trees in the distant darkness, which I assume come from either winter campers or hermits. I'd call them crazy, but I'm about to be in the exact same spot. Something catches my eye, way out in the woods. One of the trees, barely visible, seems to shake in a different way than the rest, as if blown by a different breeze. A thin layer of frost is beginning to form on the outside of the window. As I push my face against it, turning to try and find whatever it was I saw. It's gone though. It was almost certainly never even there to begin with. Either my eyes were playing tricks on me, or the moonlight was. Nice foreshadowing. I sigh and sit back again, allowing my eyes to barely close. I won't fall asleep. I'll just. I'm jostled back into alertness as the train lurches harder than before. There's a shrill whistling sound, and then the shudders of the train grow stronger and we begin to slow down. The driver hit the brakes. We are almost there. Across from me, Tara is undisturbed. Somehow, she still hasn't dropped her book. Apparently, she's less clumsy when she's asleep. Through the frosted window, I can see the lights of what must be Eisenfeld. As we approach the station, they are few and far between, like scattered stars. You're not to confuse with Eichenfeld, I guess. The buildings appear to be placed sporadically, nestled on and around a hill. As we round a bend, the village goes out of sight once more. I can't really put this off any longer. I lean over and shake Tara's shoulder.
Hey, wake up. We're almost there.
Oh, they can speak. Nice. They can speak, but most likely there is like a ton of narration that I need to read still. Because voicing 100k words is super difficult and expensive. Without opening her eyes, Tara mumbles a response.
How close is almost?
Seriously, yeah?
I don't know. Couple minutes?
Okay, I'm getting up.
No, they are both kinda deep voiced, so I guess welcome to the crew, I guess. Although, like, well, I guess it depends, like, how tired I am, whether my voice is super deep, but, well, can be. Not like the high-pitched anime girl, at least. She isn't getting up.
I mean it. If you sleep through the stop, we're just going to...
I'm up, Mads.
She finally opens her eyes. I cut off the end of my sentence, not sure if I was serious or not. We are not even there yet, and we are already snappy. God, I wish I could sleep. Just a little longer, I tell myself.
You excited?
It doesn't seem so.
Little bit.
Yeah, sure, a little bit. Lie.
You?
Kinda nervous still.
What is there to be nervous about? We've done this 1,000 times.
Yeah, well, this isn't like those other 1,000 times. And you know that.
Do we? She shrugs again, not meeting my eyes.
I don't know, Maddie. I'm sorry. Let's chill.
Yeah, sorry.
We lapse into silence. At least when she was asleep, it wasn't awkward. Yup, kinda, yeah, feels awkward. The tension between these two. I just want off of this train. I want to be distracted by going to the cabin and taking in the new sights. Or like you can probably take in new sights by looking out the window. Any minute now.
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen.
Yeah?
I know you're like not super thrilled to be here.
She pauses, likely hoping me to disagree. I don't.
But let's just be cool, okay? Let's just try and have a good time.
No, that is probably for the best. I breathe a deep sigh and let it out slowly. Mwah. She's right. I'm committed to this trip. I can at least take it easy on myself.
Yeah, okay. Sorry for getting bitchy. I'm tired.
I feel ya. Hey, how do I look?
Pretty normal.
Like you just slept for 6 hours on a train.
But could honestly look worse after that.
That bad, huh?
She messes with her hair in some attempt to improve its state. The results are unnoticeable at best.
Hopefully it's good enough for Morgan.
Fisher.
Morgan Fisher.
If she's meeting her online hero or whatever, then I doubt she'll care that your hair's a mess.
Tara is an online hero, I guess.
God, I hope not. I don't want to end up on some fashion faux pas vid. For real though, if she's super fangirly, then let's just let her get it out of her system and hopefully she won't make things weird later.
So is that like that you're coupling in Addison to the ghost and the main character?
Making things get weird later is kind of our specialty though.
Yeah, true. But hey, it got us to 250,000 subs, so like, we must have been doing something right.
Well, some people are at least. I just nod. Yeah, like they are doing some kinda like Mr. Beast Island kind of thing, I guess. To get like subscribers. I still can't help but fixate on how everything she says is past tense. It's over after this. It's fully my decision. All I have to do is to say the words, and things will go back to normal I doubt Tara would ever bring it up again if I ask her not to. So are they having like some kind of beef or something with each other? It would be so easy. We step off the train and into another world. The frigid wind saps the heat from my body almost immediately, as if it had been waiting until we arrived to pelt us until our skin felt like it was burning. I instinctively wrap my arms around myself to try to preserve what little body heat I have left. But it doesn't change a thing. I might as well not even be wearing a coat, for all the good mine does. As nice as it is to have the moon keeping things from being completely pitch black, I could really go for some cloud cover right about now. Anything to keep some warmth around us. Yeah, like supposedly, like when it's cloudy, it tends to be less cold too, but probably not quite what it means here. Tara doesn't even notice the cold. Armed with nothing but her signature jacket, she seems immune to the chill. She oohs and ahs all over the rustic train platform, like there might be a ghost hiding in the rafters. Well, probably not like that early. Just a minute later, the train rumbles off in the night, leaving us behind. Not a single passenger boarded. Tara watches it go, nodding in approval.
Okay, this place is already killing it in terms of atmosphere.
No, the atmosphere is kinda there, I guess. It's like she's completely forgotten the uncomfortable energy that had filled the train, back to her usual, overly excited self. I should probably be bitter, but instead, I can't help feeling jealous of how she can just shake it off. She has a little pocket camera that she's been carrying around with her, and she uses it to take a few pictures of the inky blackness surrounding us. I glance upward at the lights which hang from the ceiling. They are small candles lit with real flame, as opposed to electric. One of them has blown out and swings uselessly in the breeze. They are about as ineffective at keeping away the darkness as my coat is at keeping me warm. The low light will surely ruin Tara's photos, but she's snapping away without a care.
You know none of those are actually going to be visible, right?
She ignores me. I should probably just let her enjoy the moment.
This place really does feel super eerie. Listen.
I do. And it soon becomes apparent what she's referring to. The silence. All around us, it's quiet. Even the sound of the train has faded, leaving us in total solitude. The flickering lights of Eisenfeld seem impossibly far away, though I know it can't be more than a half hour's walk.
It's so quiet. Isn't that cool? We're definitely not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, like isn't... Like is Kansas, well, I guess it means Kansas City or something, but Kansas itself, like surely it's not like entirely like tightly populated. Although like, well, I don't know that much about modern US, but well, in the past Kansas was in the middle of nowhere where people went to start a new or something.
That's one way to put it.
I strain my eyes and ears looking for any hint of Morgan, who's supposed to be picking us up. You'd think the sound of a car's engine would carry pretty far out here.
For real though, I think this could be the place where we finally get some hard evidence. Something solid.
Yeah, I don't know, like a ghost solid. She says this every time, but she usually sounds like she means it more.
Just look at it. Something's gotta be out there. I can feel it.
Well, just because you're on the countryside doesn't mean that there are ghosts. Like, yeah, sure, like... So silence isn't something you can enjoy like that much in the city environment, but still... Like, well, silence is kind of a natural state of affairs in reality. We both look off towards the trees. From the train, it was difficult to see where they ended. Here on the platform, it's impossible. My expectations aren't any higher than usual though, which is to say non-existent. I wonder if Tara really believes what she's saying either. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet. Oh, by the way, like this is like a funny haircut, like there are just like single strands of hair that are held with the hair clip thingies. And then like the rest of the hair is here. But maybe that is on purpose, because like I guess like Tara is supposed to be like a silly character in a way. And the main character like a serious character, I guess.
That would be the perfect send-off, wouldn't it?
Her words sting. Damn it, not here, not already. I want to try and deflect away from this somehow, to set her back on her path. Let her enjoy this moment without me spoiling it.
Who knows? Maybe this will be the one that finally gets you a con panel so you don't have to crash someone else's.
That was one time, and their panel would have sucked without me.
Sure. Her voice has an edge of her typical bravado again. Her voice has an edge on her typical bravado again. It's a relief to hear. She returns to her camera, and I give myself a moment to try and take in my surroundings. Supernatural or not, there's something oddly serene about this place. That said, I'd like it a lot more if it wasn't so damn cold. I shiver and cross my arms even tighter. Surely Morgan will be here soon.
I can't wait to see the village tomorrow. I hope it's like one of those museum exhibits with the little replica towns and people.
Yeah, those are fun, I guess.
Like, architecturally.
Did I skip one? What is the
In what way?
Oh, this one.
Like, architecturally.
She sounds outward slowly.
All rustic and old-timey.
I can't imagine that it'll be that different from home. They've got to be modern enough for Morgan to watch paranormal after all. If you're expecting people to be walking around in monocles and waistcoats, you're gonna be disappointed.
And here I thought I'd finally get a chance to show off how amazing I'd look in a top hat.
I'm sure you'd be the teen heartthrob of the Victorian era.
She gives me a brief snort of amusement. Her responses feel more muted than usual, but the fact that we are still able to banter is a good sign. I'm glad that I can cheer her up, even if I was the cause of her low mood in the first place. However, after a moment, she looks back at me. Her expression is serious for once.
Okay, so about Morgan. Like I said before, let's give her a chance to get all the excitement out of the way first. We should be nice and friendly, but let's try to keep it professional.
I never thought I'd hear you, of all people, say that.
I find myself flashing back to all the unprofessional situations I have had to extricate Tara from, ranging from bad one-night stands to actual police custody. There are a lot of ways I could describe Tara, but professional is definitely not one of them.
Hey, I usually make a good first impression. It's just the second impression and beyond that you've got to watch out for.
I laugh out loud at that, and I catch her smirking before she looks away. She can play it cool all she wants, but I can tell from the way she's bouncing up and down that she's undeniably excited for this fangirling she mentioned. It's usually one of her favorite parts. I'm sure a little ego boost will go a long way right about now. I can feel myself hopping back and forth slightly as well, but that's more of a desire to keep my blood flowing. Thankfully, it isn't too long before I can see the silhouette of someone approaching through the storm.
Oh, thank God.
It's gotta be her, right?
Given that we're the only people out here, I really hope so.
Yeah, oh. Well, I guess it makes sense. Since that, like, she is like young, if she is watching like supposedly YouTube or maybe like TikTok or something, probably YouTube is what they are referring to. But I was thinking like somebody like a little older looking, but yeah. But this works for me though. As the girl gets closer, she gets easier to see. She's not exactly an imposing figure, but she moves with purpose. She's carrying a large thermos, which she raises in greeting as she approaches. I wave back. One of the first things I notice about her is that for some ungodly reason, she's not wearing a coat. All she's got on top to protect her from the frigid weather is what looks like a hand-knit sweater, much like Tara. Once she reaches the platform, she greets us with nothing more than a tired smile and a small nod. Not exactly the geeking out Tara was expecting.
Hey there, you two. Sorry I'm late.
Her voice is friendly but flat. She sounds like she hasn't slept in days. Tara looks a little bit taken aback by how subdued she is. Recovering quickly, she puts on her big celebrity grin.
Oh, no worries. Are you Morgan?
That's right. It's really nice to meet you, Tara.
She does have like a mature voice at least. Morgan's smile does seem to grow warmer as he greets her. But her face quickly regains a neutral expression a moment later. I can see Tara's smile faltering as she realizes that this is clearly the maximum amount of geeking out this girl is capable of. To credit her, she recovers well.
Likewise. Charmed, I'm sure.
Okay, maybe not that well. Tara extends her hand and Morgan gives her a brief handshake before turning to me.
You're Madison, right? I think we spoke online already.
Just Maddie is fine. Nice to meet you.
She shakes my hand as well. It's a firm, friendly handshake that ends as quickly as it began. Before she continues, she takes another sip from her thermos. I found myself wishing for a cup of coffee too.
It really is nice to meet the two of you. I'm sure you receive a lot of invitations, so I'm glad you were interested in mine.
And it's interesting that Morgan's voice like throws me off the most and not Tara's.
Are you kidding? Remote village in the middle of a huge forest? There's no way I'd pass that up. I've heard all kinds of stories about the things you'll find in places like this.
Hopefully not too many, or I won't have anything new for you.
Oh, I'm sure you've got something I'll be interested in.
Real smooth, Tara. So much for being professional. I can see Morgan's mouth twitch slightly at the comment. I can only hope it was something closer to a smile than a grimace. Yeah, let's hope so. Like, would be unfortunate if, like, no, we had to spend the night outside and then go back.
Tomorrow I can show you around the village. There isn't too much out of the ordinary there, but I'm sure you can find a few things that interest you.
That would be wonderful. We can go sightseeing when Tara isn't off chasing spirits around in the woods.
Morgan and I both smile. Tara flashes me a look of mock annoyance for the slide. But it's probably eating her up that I have gotten more of a reaction out of Morgan than she has.
It's about a half-hour's carriage ride to the cabin if you guys want to head out. Do you need help with your bags at all?
Tara lifts her back, giving Morgan another shiny grin. I'm pretty sure I see her accidentally flex her arms too.
Don't even worry about it. I got this.
Okay, cool. This way.
As I follow her, I can see Tara pouting behind her. I have never seen the wind get taken out of her sails like that. At least that gives her another thing to think about beside my departure. Wait a second. Did she say carriage?
No. Way.
We are standing in front of an honest-to-God horse-drawn carriage. If it weren't for the little white puffs of breath coming from the horse's noses, I'd be willing to believe that it was some sort of commemorative statue.
This is so cool! Is it yours?
It belongs to my family. Given that there aren't any roads through the woods, there isn't really a point to anyone out here owning a car.
Well, that is like countryside and a half. I move closer, examining the craftsmanship as best I can in the moonlight. The design is fairly bare bones, but a few flourishes here and there and some semi-ornate painted finishes make it clear that this was something built with love and care. By the way, I'm pretty sure that horses need roads. Maybe even more so than cars. Like, I'm pretty sure horses will die if they get tripped, more or less. Somehow, I'm the only one who seems intrigued by our ride.
Tara, come take a look at this.
As I speak, I look back and see her standing completely still, as if the cold has her rooted in the spot.
Give me a sec. I'm just taking in the view a bit. From a distance.
She's trying to act nonchalant, but her wide eyes keep flicking towards the horses. Her previously genuine grin has turned into a very nervous grimace. Slowly inching forward, she scoots further away from the horses as she approaches the carriage. I doubt she had planned for the part of her first impression to be Morgan learning that she's absolutely terrified of horses. She had better at least learn to tolerate them, or this is going to be an even longer trip than I expected.
Wait, if this is the only way through the woods, how are we going to get back and forth between the cabin and the village?
By feet, I guess.
Don't tell me we'll have our own carriage. Neither of us can drive one.
Oh, I'm going to be driving you. I can take you back and forth and help you navigate the woods. You didn't expect me to just let you wander around a forest in the middle of nowhere without a guide, did you?
Tara, still slowly making her way towards the carriage, does her best to give me a look of excitement. If anything, it resembles the look of a panicked hostage. The fact that she's still trying to play it cool is almost admirable in its futility.
You're sure that's not any trouble? I'd hate to inconvenience you any more than we already have.
It's no trouble. I run my own shop, so my schedule is pretty flexible. I'm more than happy to help.
She looks over at Tara, who has finally made it within a few feet of the carriage. She shoots us both a thumbs up.
I have a feeling she might need it.
Trust me, you have no idea.
Morgan turns and deftly swings up into her seat, taking a hold of the reins. Tara finally manages to place her hand on the carriage and climb up to sit alongside her. Shaking all the way, I let out a sigh of relief and follow suit, mounting up next to Tara. It's a little cramped up here, but I'd feel weird just sitting by myself. Besides, not keeping an eye on Tara is a pretty guaranteed way to make an even worse first impression.
So, can you do any tricks in this thing?
So I don't think you can do a whole lot of tricks with this. The path to the cabin turns out to be a complicated one. We have been making twists and turns through the trees for a few minutes, But Morgan seems to know exactly where she's going. Not even the dark can stand in her way.
You can navigate through all this with just that little lantern? How can you see landmarks?
Don't worry, I know these woods better than just about anything. Besides, the moonlight is more than enough for me.
Well, hopefully it is moonlight the whole time then. During the stay, otherwise well, it will be trouble. I can't help but feel embarrassed as I think about all the times I had to use the flashlight on my phone just to find something I dropped in the car. I definitely wouldn't last out here. Or nothing wrong using a flashlight still. Looking over, I can see Tara bouncing her leg, probably about to launch into a torrent of questions for Morgan. After that flubbed introduction, she's clearly a little less gung-ho than usual, but I know that won't stop her. As such, I should probably get my handling of the actual adult stuff out of the way quickly before it gets lost in the noise. Oh yeah, talking about the adult stuff, like this game has an adult pet spot. Obviously I don't have it installed because YouTube surely wouldn't like that.
Is there anything about the town or the people that we should know? Local customs, things to avoid saying, that sort of thing?
Morgan thinks about it for a moment, silent.
There's a curfew at midnight. Also, you're not supposed to go too far into the forest. I ignore both of those rules a lot.
Okay.
Most of the villagers tend to be sticklers about them, though.
Kinda sus. Great. So our host is a troublemaker. I guess that means Tara will be in good company. But what about the curfew? Like, that is more sus than like, well, her not caring about that.
So, while we're on our way, could you maybe tell us about some of the specific supernatural occurrences you've seen here so far?
Here she goes. Morgan sits up at the question. She looks over toward us, and her eyes seem to lose a bit of their constant drowsiness. She's been waiting for this.
Well, we have a lot of freak weather events. Strange storms that appear and disappear, or are localized to certain parts of the forest in ways that shouldn't be possible.
Tara nods solemnly, already totally enraptured in what Morgan is saying. But just like at least like in here, like sudden rainfall and like localized thunder, like, well, that just happens because the weather in the well, not enough is like really unstable.
Sometimes when I walk in the woods, I can see strange lights here and there, like tiny little stars inside the forest. I've never been able to get close to them, though.
Well, those are probably fireflies or insects or something. Raise an eyebrow, but don't say anything. We have had countless cases of strange lights before, all of which have ended with a rational explanation that doesn't seem to dampen Tara's spirits, though. I start to drift off. This is more Tara's jurisdiction anyway, so I'm sure they can just wake me up when we get there.
There's also my cat.
What about cat? Like, what is supernatural about a cat?
Your cat is a supernatural occurrence?
She can talk, so I'd say so.
Okay. Yeah, that would be kinda supernatural, yeah. Now they go like, Nani? Her words snapped me out of my trance. Looking over at her, I expect to see her holding in a loaf or sporting some kind of mischievous grin, but her face is as serious as it's been since we arrived. So I guess like this isn't like a gag visual novel exactly.
Your cat can talk? Like, talk the way a human does?
Yes, she's very well spoken, in fact.
I try to hide a sigh. Weird weather and lights in the woods are ambiguous enough that we can play along with them. But every so often we get these blatantly fake claims too, like a talking cat. So I guess I got this, you can disprove them easily. Like maybe like the owner just go like, yeah, well, it usually talks, but it's shy now or something. Tara, however, instantly perks up once her words sink in. She can't actually believe her right.
So, could we talk to her? She won't mind if I ask her a few questions, right?
I was hoping you'd ask. I think you'll be very interested in what she has to say.
But just like, don't ask us to be like, become like magical girls or something. The whole thing is clearly some kind of joke, but Tara is absolutely taking it. I can practically see the wheels turning in her head as she plans out her follow-up questions. That's never good.
So, do you have any ideas about what could be causing it? Something in her diet, maybe?
Yeah, well, that would be some kind. Would be, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, where to go from there, like even if it ate like brains or something, it still wouldn't be able to talk just because of that.
I don't think so.
Have you been feeding her some kind of special Eisenfeld cat food? Can I try some?
Oh, you want to be a cat too?
Okay, I think that's enough of that.
When Tara starts talking about eating cat food, it's time for me to exercise a little diplomacy and move the conversation forward. Crazy or not, I think we should move on.
So, what kind of things does she talk to you about?
Just about our lives for the most part. I figure you'd be better off hearing it from her rather than me.
I'm sure that'll be illuminating.
I'll say, if there's something that paranormal in the village itself, you must have seen way crazier stuff in these woods.
She starts to gesture as she talks, pointing back and forth toward the village and swinging her arm around as she mentions the woods.
Well, there's one pretty major thing, but you probably won't believe me.
So like ghosts or something.
I wouldn't have come out here if I didn't believe you. Anything you have to say, I want to hear.
I can't detect a hint of cynicism in her voice. Either she really believed this girl she just met has a talking cat, or she's giving a performance worthy of an Oscar.
Are you sure?
110%. Lay it on me.
Or like the hand pose. Like doing it now feels like, well, it raises more questions than anything, like is she serious or not. She winks at her and flashes her finger guns, back in celebrity mode. Tara's good at recovery with these things, but I had never seen her recover on this level with such speed. But as I watch her lean in towards Morgan to make sure she catches her next statement, I realize another possible reason for her passionate response. If there's one thing she loves more than hearing strange stories, it's trying to impress a cute girl. Now things are starting to fall into place a bit more.
Well, one of the main reasons I called you out here is I'm not sure if it has a name, but it's some kind of forest spirit.
Oh yeah, there was that another game I played with a forest spirit thingy too. Also winter themed. Oh, hello there in the chat.
Spirit? Like a ghost or something?
Yeah, probably a ghost, I guess.
No, something physical. Some sort of massive creature. Like the forest came to life.
Okay. So like the insect things in Nausicaa or something. Okay, this is new. Even the crazier fans don't get this outlandish. But Tara is absolutely eating it up. No matter what her reasoning is, I'm glad she's having a good time. Yeah, what would be interesting is like... Well, I guess like it's really hard to make in a way that it's not problematic, but basically that there's actually nothing in the forest and the cat doesn't talk, but the girl in the middle just thinks so. Like they have to play along somehow, but pretty sure that's not how this goes. It would be fascinating in a way, but it would be really hard to make without, like if you're not an expert on how to make it work.
Is there anything else you can tell me about it? Does it speak or anything? Have you managed to interact with it at all? Is it more kaiju-sized or more basketball player-sized?
She did say that it is big, right?
I've only seen it once, unfortunately, so I don't know too much about it. I've searched for it a number of times since, but without any results.
And that's kinda sus because she has seen it, but she's not saying how big it is. That's kinda sus.
Who knows? Maybe you two will have better luck than I have. That's what you're best at, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kinda sus too. Like, yeah, it's there, like you try find it.
In terms of talents, I'd say it's certainly up there.
Morgan's mouth turns up into a small but seemingly genuine smile, and her expression grows slightly less intimidating. Yeah, I kinda got the feeling that maybe the girl in the middle, this Morgan girl, actually isn't like entirely truthful. But maybe it's just me, like I have. Like there is a writer called Sarah Waters that kind of wrote like historical fiction. Like in the story is like it always seemed that there was like something supernatural going, or like, well, yeah. Or you would like think something and then like later on in the book it would go like totally the other way, like you totally believe that yeah there is like this is supernatural and stuff, and then it's not actually, but it's just like some super complicated plot. So I kinda got that kind of vibes here. But maybe it's just me.
I knew you'd believe me. Nobody else around here does.
Yeah, sure. For a reason, I guess. I can't imagine why. I feel a pang of guilt as that thought crosses my mind. As crazy as her story sounds, it can't possibly be easy feeling rejected in a community this isolated. No wonder she was so eager to bring us into the fold. Okay, I'm even more skeptical than the main character.
So, how far away would you say we are from the cabin?
We should be coming up on it any minute now. I'll help the two of you get situated and then head back. I'll be happy to tell you more about the spirit tomorrow.
Thank God.
Oh yeah, great. That's great. I'm exhausted.
So there is a cabin where like Tara and Maddie are staying, and then the girl in the middle whose name still escapes me all the time lives in a different building, I guess. Or Morgan. That much isn't a lie. All I want to do right now is pass out. We have passed the last of the houses that I can see, but the sparsely marked path continues on towards the forest. The last traces of civilization are behind us now.
By any minute now? What exactly did you mean?
I can't keep the biting tone entirely out of my voice.
Just ahead. See?
She points forward into the darkness. I strain my eyes to see anything other than murk. Finally, I spot the faint outline of a small cabin practically swallowed by forest.
I started the heater before I left to get you, so it should be warm.
That's what I like to hear. You're like Prometheus.
Sure.
I'm surprised you know who that is.
Why? I love that movie.
Morgan suddenly jerks the reins and the horses come to a stop. Tara and I are rattled from our seats and nearly fall forward.
Damn it.
What happened?
Rather than answer, Morgan just glares into the darkness where the cabin is. I strain to see what she does as my heart starts to race. Is it a wild animal, a bear, a wolf? There's a sound of footsteps as a shadow detaches itself from the cabin and moves toward us. A human shadow. An older woman comes into view, stopping just at the edge of the lantern's light. She's clearly related to Morgan. Her angular features and steely eyes, barely visible in the dark, make her look like she stepped out of a baroque painting. Yeah, this is what I expected Morgan to be like. Also, like the voice would kind of fit her.
Why are you here?
I came to greet our guests.
She spits the word our, clearly asserting some sort of ownership. I suck in an involuntary breath as she approaches. Being able to see her more clearly isn't a reassurance. If anything, it's the opposite. Something about her radiates hostility. Even the horses seem uncomfortable, their ears pressed back as they stamp their feet in the snow. Up close, her gaze is sharp and fierce. Her face is proud but sunken, cheekbones jutting as if her face doesn't quite fit It makes her look older than she is.
Which of you is Tara?
Okay. Mouth drawn thin, she looks from me to Tara and then back again. Each second that passes makes the discomfort grow. I keep waiting for Morgan to intervene, but she doesn't. Tara and I exchange a quick, nervous glance. Then she clears her throat and leans forward, offering a handshake.
That's me.
The woman regards Tara's outstretched hand for a moment and ignores it.
Welcome to Eisenfeld. My name is Evelyn, the mayor. Who are you?
Well, supposedly you know. Her attention flicks to me like a hand on a clock.
I'm Maddie. Madison. Tara's manager?
I see.
It's clear that she's judging us, though I have no idea on what. And that's kinda sus also. I kind of feels that though. Feels that everybody's hiding something.
Are you done yet? They're tired. You can interrogate them later.
Just what exactly is she volunteering us for? Interrogate is kind of a strong word. Our host makes absolutely no effort to disguise the loathing in her voice. In a town as small as this one, I can't imagine that speaking to someone as important as the mayor like that is a good idea. So like what is like actually the problem? Like is the problem that the mayor and everybody else thinks that Morgan is the weirdo basically? Or is the problem that though everybody knows that there is something in the forest but only Morgan wants to basically put it on YouTube? Well, I guess like there is always like in the countryside like the thing that some people will want like there should be like some tourists or something because it's income, and then there are the people who are like no way, like nobody is welcome here basically. So it could be that kind of a thing too. Though Evelyn appears entirely unfazed. She remains in the middle of the trail, blocking our path. She and Morgan stare each other down while Tara and I sit in painfully uncomfortable silence. After at least a minute, the mayor finally steps out of the way and heads back up the way we came.
We'll speak later.
It's clearly a command, not a request. The carriage sits immobile until the sound of Evelyn's footsteps are lost to the night. And even beyond that.
So she seems nice.
Sure. Her statement seems to snap Morgan back in the present. Morgan flicks the reins, and we begin moving again. She turns around to face us, looking genuinely apologetic.
I'm so sorry about that. I thought she'd at least wait until tomorrow, and I'd have some time to prepare you beforehand.
Is she your mom?
Technically.
Technically.
What? No way! How could you tell?
The family resemblance?
Morgan purses her lips.
Unfortunate, isn't it? Long story short, I didn't tell her that you were going to be staying here until this morning.
I'm speechless, hoping that it's just a joke, and the punchline fell flat. Like, why do you need to tell it anyway? Like you can't have guests without telling the mayor. But Morgan's clearly serious. What the second time, in a handful of minutes, I'm wondering what we have gotten ourselves into. Tara loves, though I can't tell it's forced.
Well, it's no big deal, right? It's not like she runs your life.
Yeah? Silence.
Right?
Right. Eventually, Morgan nods.
Right. We shouldn't get into it right now, though. I'm sure you'd rather sleep tonight.
I can see Tara gathering the breed to disagree and tell Morgan that we'd love to hear all about her family issues right now. So I head her off.
Yeah, we would.
Whatever family drama it is that she's gotten us involved in, it can at least wait until I'm not about to pass out. The carriage comes to a stop just a few feet away from the door. A small stone path has the snow cleared away from it and leads to a short flight of stairs. We are facing a large window, although it's dark and it's impossible to see into. Morgan vaults out of the carriage, nimbly landing on her feet.
I'll unlock the door. Your luggage already came in too, so it's inside.
Tara launches herself out of the carriage just like Morgan did, and then she quickly scurries away from the patient horses. Eyeing them for any sudden movements, I climb down as she stands an extremely safe distance away.
I can't carry all of this on my own, you know.
I toss her back, and she lurches to catch it, barely keeping it from landing in the snow. We stand back and watch as Morgan fiddles endlessly with the lock on the door, pushing and trying again, over and over. Now that we are so close to the end, I can feel the last of my reserves of energy rapidly draining. The bags in my arms feel like they weigh 1,000,000 pounds.
So, what do you think?
She mutters as quietly as she can, though her timing couldn't be worse.
I think I want to go to bed.
Same as ever, then.
You know me.
Rubbing my arms, I peer into the forest, just beyond the first few lines of trees. Everything fades into an inky blackness, thick and unpenetrable. I shiver, not entirely because of the cold. A cool breeze rattles the empty branches as they scrape against each other, mimicking the way I'm trying to stay warm. Finally, this banging sound as Morgan solves the mystery of the lock and nearly falls through the door. She pokes her head back through like nothing happened.
I got it open.
Hallelujah.
I haul my way back inside, and into the blessed warmth. It's been so long since we have been near a working heater. A small lamp on the side table casts a bit of light over the small room. Our luggage, as promised, is gathered haphazardly around the living room, just like home. Tara slips past me to bounce around and examine it all. Her bags hurled as carelessly as I pulled them out of the carriage.
Oh my god! Holy shit! This is so cool!
There's nothing really out of the ordinary, so I just stand there and wait for her to get it all out of her system.
Isn't this the coolest? It's like staying in a history museum.
That's the kind of thing you'd usually treat like a punishment.
Are you kidding me? I love history. We even did that whole series on the history of cryptids in the American Midwest. And I spent like 3 months on that special about Bigfoot's impact on the Great Depression.
That's one of my favorite episodes. I had never heard of the theory that FDR was a cousin of Sasquatch.
Sure.
To be fair, I don't think FDR did either.
Morgan laughs, and I just roll my eyes.
I mean the kind of history that actually happened.
History is doomed to repeat itself, Mads.
Sure, but what does that have to do with anything? I don't even respond. That whole episode felt like the plot of an awful low-budget B-movie. Welcome to YouTube. Instead, across the living area towards the tiny hallway with a pair of identical doors.
These are the bedrooms?
That's right. They're the same size, so there's not much of a difference.
Guess I'll take this one then.
I push open the closed door. Inside, it's just 4 walls with a bed, a shelf, and a small dresser. I drop my bag on the floor and roll my suitcases in. Tara lingers in the living room, talking about the features of the cabin with Morgan. Suddenly, I hear her yelp in pain or horror. I rush back out, knocking over my suitcase and nearly slamming into the door as I go. I half expect to see Morgan holding a bloody knife or something, but instead Tara's just holding her phone. Oh, no signal or something, I guess.
What happened?
A tragedy.
A tragedy for sure.
Actually, worse, the apocalypse. Check out your phone.
I do as she says, expecting a news article or an alert or something, but there's nothing.
What? I don't have anything.
Exactly. No service out here.
Oh, boo-hoo. I check. Sure enough, she's right. There isn't the barest trace of a signal at all. Well, that only means that, well, you will get things done.
What about Wi-Fi? I assume we have that, right?
Surely not. You might have Wi-Fi, but what do you do with Wi-Fi? Like you can play LAN games, like in the good old times. Like that was the most networking you had back then.
Technically.
Oh no. I stocked up on books and downloaded a bunch of new films before we left. since I wasn't expecting to have much connection out here anyway. But I'm willing to bet the thought never even crossed Tara's mind. Good thing I packed a few books I think she'll like too. Tara calmly pockets her phone again as Morgan gives us a small smile.
Let me give you the quick tour.
I don't think it's entirely necessary, since we can see everything ourselves. But I don't stop her.
This is the kitchen. There's a stove and an oven. The stove is somewhat picky and doesn't always like to work.
Okay.
Actually, I guess it's the same for the oven.
Nope.
Don't worry, I don't know how to cook anyway.
Oh, that's a reassurance.
Over here is the fireplace. I can show you how to chop firewood sometime if you'd like.
I think I might pass on that one.
This is the couch. You can also sleep on it if you'd like. It doesn't unfold into a bed or anything, but I sometimes come here and sleep on it anyway.
That doesn't even surprise me.
The Wi-Fi password is on a note by the phone. So is my phone number, so you can reach me anytime.
Well, the phone wasn't supposed to work right. Or is it just the internet? Or is it like a normal landline phone?
Do you have any questions?
I shake my head and look at Tara, who does the same.
I think we're good. Thanks for all your help tonight, Morgan.
But he surely got over the lack of internet quickly.
It was my pleasure. Again, I can't thank you enough for coming all the way out here. I'll be sure to make it worth your time.
And the voices felt like... Well, Morgan's voice felt weird in the beginning, but it's kinda growing on me actually.
I'm sure. Can't wait to get started.
Me either. But I should probably be going for tonight. I've kept you up long enough as it is.
She heads out the front door, waving goodbye.
Night, Morgan. Thanks again.
Good night.
Through the large window, we can see as she starts to make her way down the path.
I'm gonna go to bed too.
Yeah, same.
We switch off the lamp as we head to our respective rooms. Tara grabs her bags from the floor where she tossed them.
All right, see you in the morning then?
Yeah, night.
I shut the door behind me and she does the same. I sway like a zombie as I stalk towards my bed. It takes the last of my strength to dig my pajamas out of my suitcase and change. There's a window here that looks straight out into the forest. The first thing I do is pull the curtains shut. Crawling into bed, I face away from the window and pull the blanket up to my chin. It's heavy and warm, and I wrap it around myself like a burrito. The bed is firmer than it used to be, than I'm used to, and the pillow thinner. There are like 3 other blankets too, so I ball one of them up and use it as a second pillow. As I try to get comfortable, my thoughts start to drift off. A detached part of me is glad that the timing worked out well enough to avoid jet lag. And in all, aside from the Wi-Fi, this is pretty nice as far as accommodations go, especially since we are not paying for it. It seems strange that Morgan would come all the way out here just to take naps sometimes. But I can already tell that most of what Morgan does would be considered strange. Strange but harmless, I don't mind. But when I think of her mother, the mayor, a chill runs down my spine, and I bundle myself even more tightly in the blankets. I should give her a second chance though, especially if she didn't have any warning about our arrival. It stands to reason that she'd be annoyed at Morgan renting out her family's cabin like that. More like, does the family own it or does Morgan own it? Like, we don't exactly know it. When I think of it that way, her reaction seems pretty justified. I'll just be extra polite to her next time we meet. Hopefully, it isn't an interrogation like Morgan said. That was probably just her being dramatic. A yawn, wishing sleep would come faster. I expected to be out before my head even hit the pillow, not lying here with my thoughts racing. I try to block out everything and focus on my breathing. In, out. In, out. In. A loud tap, tap, tap on the window cuts through the silence. My heart leaps to my throat as I bolt upright in bed. I get tangled on the blankets, scrambling to hold them off me. With one hand, I desperately feel for my glasses nearby. I finally find them and shove them onto my face, nearly chopping my eye out. With horror, I look to the window, the one that made me uncomfortable from the start. It's Morgan. Lantern in hand, fist raised against the glass. She stands there patiently. If she knows what kind of emotional roller coaster she just put me through, she doesn't show it. Shakily, I walk over to the window, not even switching on the lamp. With some difficulty, I wrench it open, disturbing a small mound of snow.
Yes?
Yes, indeed. It's the best I can manage. Anything longer, and I'm not sure I could keep it civil.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Please be ready to go by 8, and I'll come pick you up.
Why the window? That's just like creepy. I just blink, unable to comprehend what I'm hearing.
Is that okay? We could make it 8:30, but no later.
No, 8 is fine. Is that all?
That's right. Have a good night. Sorry if I disturbed you.
Sorry indeed. I slam the window shut and hobble back to bed. She doubled back in the snow and scared the hell out of me for that. I check the time on my phone. It's nearly midnight. 8 hours to sleep and then be ready to go. But that's normal. It's going to be a long month, isn't it? So it's like a whole month of making like a weird YouTube video in the middle of nowhere. It's 8 hours and 34 minutes later. I know because telling time is my phone's only remaining function. Yet I still check it constantly like something might change. True to her word, Morgan was there to pick us up right at 8. It's a minor miracle that Tara and I were both ready to go. I don't know who had it worse. Me waking up to my alarm or Tara waking up to me banging on her door. Even now, she slowly eats a piece of bread from the kitchen, looking for all the world like a cow chewing cud. With each bump that the carriage hits, my tiny cup of coffee threatens to spill into my hand. I'm not sure that I'll feel it. After answering Morgan's perfunctory questions about our first night, we spent the rest of the ride in silence. She didn't acknowledge at all how she had knocked on my window. Apparently, it wasn't remarkable enough to her to deserve another mention. I watched from over her shoulder now as we approached the town. From the train last night, the scattered lights made Eisenfeld appear to be a lot larger than it really is. Now in the daylight, I had to strain my eyes to pick out some of the buildings against the hills and snow. Tara's missing it all. Staring at her feet, crumbs litter the floor beneath her. Morgan guides us along a path that I'm pretty sure is the same one as last night. A few villagers move out the way of our carriage, not even turning to look. It must be a regular occurrence. Even though it's hard for anyone to see us in here, I still feel self-conscious. I clutch the back of camera gear tighter to my chest, hiding myself behind it. There aren't any other carriages on the road, nor anything bigger than a postcard. So we still stand out, at least in my head. If the situation is at all awkward or out of the ordinary to Morgan, she doesn't show it. She pulls the reins, and the carriage comes to a stop in the road. There aren't as many other people up there, but what few there are give us a wide berth.
And here we are.
Here we are. Tara finally perks up. The words clearly spoken for her benefit. My voice is getting tired, so maybe we'll call it a day soon enough. But let's see if we can find like a sweet spot for that. It is kinda moody and interesting, but hard to say so far, like what is exactly going to happen. So I guess like that is part of the mystery. Well, to be honest, like I'm not the biggest fan of the NVL kind of part in the middle, but well, that's mostly because it's a lot of reading without any visuals or anything, which is kinda awkward on stream, but that's how it is. Anyway, it takes her a moment to realize that we have made an entrance. But as soon as she does, she's in showbiz mode. She leaps to her feet, throwing off the exhaustion like a disguise.
Here we are indeed.
Indeed. She walks out of the carriage, spinning circles like we are in the middle of a grand plaza instead of the middle of the street. I climb out more carefully and then scurry out of the way. Or something that bugs me a little bit is that there is no music, but oh well.
Okay, this rules.
Sure. Okay, there we go. Now we have music, I guess. It really does feel like we have traveled back in time. The buildings, all built from wood and stone, look like they have been there for centuries. Oh, hello there. The road that we are on and currently blocking is made of cobblestone. It winds its way through the town, despite being covered in well-tamped snow.
We're certainly a long way from home.
As much as yesterday. Morgan doesn't disembark from the carriage and instead calls down to us.
The town square is right down this road, but if I take you there, I won't be able to turn the carriage around.
But that's a small square, I guess. What accent? Like my accent? I guess my accent is Finnish accent.
It's always a pain when that happens. I'm going to open up my shop, but feel free to come by whenever you'd like. I'm sorry I can't show you around right now, but I'll make it up to you later.
Where's your shop?
Oh, right.
She pulls a piece of paper from somewhere and dangles it towards me. I cross the road and take it from her. Unfolding it, I can see that it's a map. Despite being hand-drawn, it's pretty coherent and legible. Certain buildings like Morgan's shop and the local pub are denoted by handwritten tags. At the middle of the road, where we are currently standing, she's even drawn in a helpful "You are here" notice with a smiley face. She clearly planned this well in advance.
Cool. Thanks.
But you probably want a school system from like a couple years back, but they are supposedly doing their best to kind of ruin it by cutting costs and corners. But that's kinda how Finland has become these days, sadly. It's all about, well, saving money and spending it on rich people, kinda.
Feel free to stop by around lunch. I'll make you both something.
Hell yeah! You're the best, Morgan.
Thanks.
Morgan gives us a brief wave before heading off to wherever it is you park horse-drawn carriages. I point in the direction of the town square that Morgan mentioned, wanting to get away from all the people who are currently gawking at us. So, you know, like, I guess it is like, well, that she is transgender or something like that is probably it. No, to be honest, like, well, they all have a kinda like deep voices, and I guess I do too. So, well, that's the whole cast, I guess. But the voices are growing on me, so I don't mind. The fact that there is voice acting at all is pretty impressive because it is super expensive to have that in a game. We definitely stick out, if only because of our colorful hair and clothes. Combined, the outfits have the color palette of a bowl of oatmeal. Although they stare, nobody really says anything, either too polite or too intimidated. Both Tara and I avoid eye contact with strangers as we hurry to the empty town square. But are they going there even? Yeah. But like over here too, like, well, everybody basically wears black, especially in winter. Like, you don't see like colorful outfits at all, so well, kinda realistic, I guess. It's even hard to buy colorful winter coats. Like, they are all black or gray mostly.
Well, that couldn't have gone worse.
There are a million ways that could have gone worse. If people looking at us funny is the only downside of this trip, then it'll be our best episode yet.
Well, yeah, I don't know how bad their episodes are.
I mean, ever.
Okay. Oh, they are roasting their own YouTube too, I guess. I wish she'd stop bringing that up. It always kills the mood, which was barely on life support to begin with. Tara rubs her shoulders, having stubbornly chosen not to dress any warmer today. But pretty sure they don't even have different outfits. Like, the main character also complained about that, but still has the same outfit. Well, to be honest, like, well, the art is also expensive.
Okay, ready to get your paranormal on, Mads?
Sure. I shrug my camera bag onto my shoulder and nod.
I suppose there's no harm in spending a little time establishing the location. Might as well get some B-roll while we're here.
One thing that both Tara and I have in common is that we are not really sightseers. I spend as much time in my room as I can. Whether that's the hotel room while we are filming or my bedroom at home. Kinda the same, I guess. So as much as Tara loves investigations and all the dramatic stuff, she'd probably totally skip the exposition segments if she didn't leave them to me. That means that we are pretty efficient at filming them. In turn, I turn on the camera and slowly turn a circle, capturing the ground, sky, and some nearby buildings for footage that we can splice together later. I do a slow pan across some of the houses, then frame and hold a shot of the path further into the village. A young couple passes by holding hands. And they share a suspicious look at the camera as they go by. Guess I'm editing that part out later. Most of the time, making paranormal videos is just me finding ways to stretch 10 seconds of interesting footage into a 10-minute video. Yeah, well, yeah. That's YouTube too, I guess. Well, I guess it depends. Like, if you like play games or such, it's kinda the opposite. Like, trying to crunch like 10 hours of footage into half an hour video or something, I guess. That's something else that we are both good at. The cold wind makes it hard to keep a steady grip. So I stowed the camera and shoved my hands into my pockets.
Get anything cool?
Oh, cool sky, I guess. Unable to browse on her phone like she usually does while waiting, instead Tara watches from over my shoulder as I record.
Not really. There's not much to see here.
Yeah, it's kinda less impressive up close.
It's the kind of place that you'd expect a tumbleweed to blow through, like if the climate fit.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, you're turning into quite the poet.
Oh, shut up.
What? It was a compliment.
Sure.
Anyway, since filming the village is a dud right now, we should follow up one of the rumors Morgan was talking about the other night. I'm thinking giant tree spirit.
But that would surely be more interesting content.
That's the most interesting one she talked about for sure. That's the headliner. We need to build up to that one.
That or the cat. Talking cat supposedly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Picture this.
Picture what?
We head to the woods to get some creepy shots.
Creepy shots.
Do it right around sundown.
Mm-hmm.
Make it super ambient.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of atmosphere, wind sounds, maybe a wolf howl.
Oh, that's cheating. Also, that's loud.
You've got a good wolf sound effect we could use, right?
That's cheating, right? If you just like add it on top of the video, it's cheating. It's not real.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I do a narration over all that, introducing where we are and what we're out here looking for.
And then there is nothing.
Then we get a sound of a big branch snapping, and just cut the video right there.
Sure, you just cut it. Well, that works, I guess. Tara looks pleased with herself and glances back at me for approval. It takes me a minute to react.
So, end the video on a cliffhanger?
So I guess it's better than ending it by saying that there was nothing.
Yeah, I think so. We can definitely stretch the Eisenfeld stuff into a mini-series or something. We should be able to get at least 3 episodes worth of stuff out here.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fine. A snapping branch is a pretty weak way to end it, though. Especially since, like...
Yeah, like you could go like... make like a sound like rah or something, and then in the next episode like they would go like, oh sorry, that's was just my belly, like I was hungry.
We uploaded the video. No one's going to wonder if we're okay or not.
You can't just post a comment like, yeah, we are fine. Well, I guess that's, well, they uploaded it, so maybe, yeah, I guess people know that they are fine, but it's probably still the best to say it.
Oh, that's true. So you think maybe we just make one long vid? Or end it differently?
Oh, they are in this scammy YouTube business anyway, so just go for the cliffhanger, I guess.
Maybe a different ending. I'll think of something later.
Cool. You're the best, Mads.
I smile, but it hurts a little. I'm sure she's not trying to make me feel bad. She probably doesn't even know that I do. I just shrug, waiting to change the subject.
We can also follow up on some of the smaller rumors. Like, in her email, she mentioned mysterious lights out in the forest.
Like a will-o-wisp? Aren't those actually real?
You're the expert. You should know that, not me.
Tara stares at me expectantly.
Yes, they're real, but it's just swamp gas. It doesn't matter though, because we need to wait for nighttime for that stuff. It's not very spooky during the daytime.
In that case, we definitely want to talk to the locals. See what kind of rumors they've heard of. That kind of thing.
Oh, the locals are going to love them.
Right, that's definitely the smart thing to do.
Yeah, like you'll get like a lot of footage about like locals going like, yeah, these tourists basically. We both faced back towards the street. We came down, and Morgan dropped us off. While with all those nosy people. Nosy people, like you are the nosy people. Who just stared at us, but wouldn't talk. Awkwardly.
Or we could get some more establishing shots from other parts of the village.
Yep.
I like that idea.
We pick a direction at random and start walking. Yeah, maybe I'll call it a day here. Seems that this game doesn't like exactly have like chapters or anything, so I'll just have to wing it, I guess. Well, it is kinda interesting, but to be honest, like this part kinda isn't that interesting. Kinda feels like something that, well, could be like cut to. Well, I do like the banter about being scammy YouTubers, basically. Like that is fun, but well, it gets old kinda quickly, I guess. Anyway, oh, that's all for today, I guess. Oh, I guess it has chapters then. But yeah, it's like 130k words or something, so yeah, it's going to take several sessions anyway. So I'll just wing it and play at a leisurely pace, I guess. Probably the best for this kind of game anyway. Like trying to speedrun it will only make it awkward to play it. I think you're kinda supposed to enjoy the vibes. So maybe that's kind of why I'm having issues with this daytime part, because it's kinda hard to feel the vibes. Like the train part and going to the cabin and all that, like that was moody and interesting, but this is kinda not sure like where it's trying to go with this. But there will be night eventually, so it's fine. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching, and well, I'll be playing this next week too, and probably the week after that too. Anyway, thank you for watching all the comments and everything. Yeah, well, the town part won't last long, I hope. Anyway, yeah, thanks. See you next week. Bye bye.